Hey Urban Spinsters, it's Sadia Sanders of urbanspinster.com, where we are creating our own agenda, dispelling societal myths, and redefining the word spinster. Well, today I have a third party story time, meaning it didn't happen to me, but I want to get your thoughts because I have been told I can be very hard on my friends, kind of gangster, if you will, depending on certain situations, especially when it comes to money. So if you're watching this on YouTube, of course you see I'm in my bathroom and I have my face mask products, my good old avocado oatmeal mask, clay mask from CVS, my bowl, and I have my brush. So instead of just putting this in my hand, I'll get fancy and I'll just squeeze some in the bowl. Make sure you put the cap back on so it doesn't dry out on you. And maybe I'll put just a little moisture on the brush. So, a friend of mine who has a bad habit, notorious for loaning money, gets a phone call from an ex-girlfriend. And they have maintained a friendship over the years, but she is now married, has her career, she's an attorney, she has some children, I think 2 kids if I'm not mistaken. And so she calls him, or texts him actually, and asks to borrow money. And my first thought was, okay, wait a minute. You said she was married. Pause. If you are a married woman and you are going to your ex-man for money, something is not right there. So as we continue to talk, he says that that isn't the first time that she asked to borrow money, and he had given it to her. And I'm trying to recall if he said when he had given her money before, if she was married. I don't believe so, but I could be wrong. So I'm coming at it from a place of, okay, first of all, my guy friend needs to stop loaning people money because most of the time they're not paying him back. Or if he's not loaning money, he is lending people things that they tear up and can't repair, i.e. a car. So, and this is not just women, this is his guy friends or associates, I would call them, because they're not your friends if they're borrowing money from you or cars from you. They can't pay you back and they can't fix whatever they break. So his justification for doing these types of things for people is that if he were ever in a position to need help, he would hope that these individuals would help him. And I had to explain to him that the type of people who borrow money and don't pay it back will never be in a position to help you. They are borrowers. They're not lenders. So if you think that at some point they're going to get their lives on track at this stage in our lives, okay, 40s and up, and be in a position to even help you, that's just fantasy. That's what you would do. You would make sure that you paid somebody back in a timely fashion. But these people you're dealing with, that's not their character. So get that out of your head. But at the core, he's just a people pleaser. I mean, that's just what it is. And I keep telling him he needs to figure out where that comes from so that he can start to check that behavior. But good thing about this situation, he called me about it, and he had talked to another friend of his, a man. And that man told him the exact same thing I'm telling him. First of all, where's her husband? Okay, and she's an attorney? Why doesn't she have $500? That makes no sense to me. And you also have to factor in, because she's married and because you guys have had a sexual past, that just is not a good look for a woman to be going to her ex-man for money. And I brought up the movie, one of my favorites, Dead Presidents, where Lorenz Tate's character Anthony has come back from Vietnam, and him and his baby mama / girlfriend run into the guy she has been obviously messing around with when he was in the military. And this guy throws some money into the car because their car side by side, they're like, passing each other. And she's like, oh no, don't keep giving me money and blah, blah, blah. And he says it's for the daughter. But clearly they've had a sexual past, because wouldn't no man be throwing $100 or whatever it was in your car and he has not had sex with you at some point. Okay, that's just not how that goes down. And in front of your dude. So he was sending a message. So back to my friend, her husband, this ex-girlfriend of his, her husband would not, I don't think, be okay with this. And depending on what type of dude he is, he might come after my friend. Because that's just, it's like, okay, what is the perception if a man you used to have sex with is giving you money and you're asking him for money? That's not a good look, and you could be putting yourself in a situation where he wants to harm you out of his ego. Now my friend said, if that were him, if he were the husband, because I said, would you be okay with that if your wife asked some other man for money? And he said, well, if we were really in a bind and I knew that it would help us get out of it, I might be okay with it. But I mean, he's saying that in theory. I don't know if that's actually true. Most men ain't gonna be okay with that, period. You don't ask no man. And then it's like, well, what type of dude is this? Is he not working? See, I told him he didn't ask enough questions. Where's your husband? One. Why don't, between the two grown ass people in your house, do you not have $500? Two. And does he know that you're asking me? Three. Okay. When you ask people questions who start wanting to borrow money from you, they will back the hell up because they don't want to hear all that. They just want the money. And what happened with this situation, he didn't give it to her. He ignored her text because he took a pause. Because he and I have had this conversation before in other scenarios with him doing this for people. So this time, he took a beat. And that's what you should be doing when you're like, when you're kind of like, oh God, here we go again. Just breathe, pause. He didn't respond to her. He talked to his male friend and he talked to me. But by the time he talked to me, he had already had to communicate back to her because she saw that he read her text and didn't respond. So she hit him up again and said, I saw you read my text, but you didn't reply. So he told her that he had some unforeseen things to come up, which was actually true in his case because he had done another favor for somebody else and they screwed up. So now he's having to pay for that. So he wasn't lying, but he just didn't know how to tell her no. And I said, no is a complete sentence. And his friend, who he had talked to before me, told him, if someone hears no and then they end the friendship, they weren't your friends to begin with. So practice that. If you're constantly being used, because that's what it is, and you think, oh, well, if they had it, they would help me. You don't know that. Or in his case, he says he hopes they would help him if he were to need their help. But it ain't gonna happen. These are not the type of people that you're dealing with. It ain't gonna happen. They ain't gonna ever have it to help you. So just get that out your head. No is a complete sentence. If you are a people pleaser, you need to figure out why that is. Usually all these things stem from some type of childhood upbringing. I was brought up in a people-pleasing household. And I didn't even know that or connect the dots as to why I was constantly giving of myself and resources to people who didn't appreciate it. Sometimes they didn't even want it. I wanted it more for them than they wanted it for themselves. But I have been asked to borrow money, and I'm just not good with that. The philosophy I use now is, if I don't want to give it away, then I don't need to loan it, because I'm going to be pissed off if I don't get that money back. So just don't loan people money. Just don't do it, especially if you know you work hard for what you have and you're just trying to maintain. You don't really have it to give away. But if it's a small amount, like $10, $15, $20 or something like that, and that person never pays you back, then you have paid the cost for them not to be able to ever borrow from you again. You couldn't pay me back $10, $15, $20. You ain't gonna pay me back shit else. So no, you can't borrow nothing else. That's it. All right, so let me know what you think. Should a married woman be asking a man that she used to sleep with for money? 1. 2, as a man, for the men watching this and listening to this, would you be okay with your wife asking an ex-boyfriend for money to get you and your family out of a financial situation? So let me know in the comments, and you can always reach me on social at Urban Spinster XO, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Check out my website, urbanspinster.com. I have merchandise available. I will put the links below for the shirts. Never settle. Never settle could mean anything, not just relationships, but just never settle for any mediocrity in your life. So I have the crew neck sweatshirts, and I have the slouchy, more kind of shoulder bearing shirts if you want to look a little more cute. Those are available. My Single Woman's Agenda guided journals, money, mindset, lifestyle, ownership, and relationships, 5 topics, are also available for digital download on my website. All right, I will talk to you soon. Make sure you sign up for my email list so you can keep abreast of any events I may be having in the LA area, and my newsletter when I'm announcing new podcast episodes, new videos, etc. All right, I will talk to you soon. Have a good one.